Hello, beautiful Facebook community. How are you today? I am coming in live from StreamYard, so there might be a chance that I won't see your comments on the Facebook post. If you could grant StreamYard permission, that would be amazing. I'm just going to take 2 minutes to check that this is actually coming up on the Facebook community. Yes, I'm in there. Amazing. How are you today? Happy Monday. Welcome to the Pricing for Profits Masterclass. I'm super excited to have this because I know, good morning, beautiful, or sunrise. Let me know if you can grant, StreamYard access to see your name. That would be amazing because then I can actually speak to you. I feel like it's really hard for me to communicate when I don't know it's coming up as Facebook user. So welcome to the Pricing for Profits Masterclass. I'm super ecstatic for this one. I'm a little bit nervous, I won't lie. I I never drink, right? So on the weekend, I have my friend's 40th birthday. And obviously I had a few drinks and I just feel genuinely so scattered. It's not a good time. So I've been like running through this morning, just trying to bloody make sure that I am on a mission. All right, so let me know in the comments how you are feeling today. If you're in the East Coast, I'm pretty sure it's not a public holiday, but it is a public holiday in Perth today, so that's pretty exciting. Long weekend for everybody. So let me know in the comments how you're feeling, what your name is, if I can't see you on the Facebook, it's coming up as Facebook user, and what you would love to achieve out of today's masterclass. So what is your biggest struggle that you have with your pricing strategy in your business? Let me know in the comments below so we can actually do some live coaching on this. Emma, hello. Hey, beautiful. No public holiday. School holidays. Yes, I know. I love school holidays. You guys have a public holiday next week though, don't you? I'm pretty sure that is accurate. Okay, so how is everybody? How are you feeling, Emma? All right, so we're going to get started. I'm just going to make sure I can see everybody's screen. If you are just joining, I'm seeing a few people coming in now. So if you are just jumping in, let me know in the comments below how you're feeling and what your biggest dream is for your pricing strategy within your business and what your biggest struggle or challenge is. That would be amazing so I can help support you throughout this masterclass with you. Okay, so let me just see. Financial empowerment. So financial empowerment is literally when we are an energetic match for wealth. So we have basically created a space where we feel safe and confident within our business financial position, right? So this is when we are not only in alignment because we know our numbers and we know our financial position, we're actually in alignment because our energetics behind our mindset, our vision, our wealth, our internal value is actually in alignment to our energy. Sorry, my mind has gone blank. Thanks. My dog is just down here. We're actually in an alignment for our energetics, for our wealth, for our highest vision. Okay. So it's one thing to be like, oh, I want to generate all of this wealth and this financial abundance, but I am actually scared to charge myself at a service at a rate that actually I'm worth. And I'm too scared that somebody's not going to buy. And if I raise my prices, then they're not going to pay for my services and they're going to go somewhere else. Absolutely. If that is you, you are not in energetic alignment. Okay, so today I'm going to speak to a few different things. Today we're going to be speaking to the masculine, the energy around the masculine energy around financial empowerment, but we're also going to be speaking to the feminine energy around financial empowerment. Okay, so therefore I want you to see basically how it all comes in into balance and harmony when we are both we're in alignment in both areas. So typically masculine energy around financial empowerment would be your strategy, your structure, your KPIs, like really knowing, jumping into your zero and looking at what your monthly revenue is, what your yearly revenue is, like getting onto all of that responsibility around finance, which is actually not a strong area within our industry. And then you've got the feminine energetics around pricing for profits, which is like really understanding your worth, your value, and your experience that you're offering within your brand, and then literally cultivating that in your pricing strategy. So it's not even just about creating a pricing strategy that is elevated. It's actually about creating a client experience that is elevated to support your pricing structure. Okay, I'm just going to take a moment, read the comments. Emma, where to even start? Rather than just being similar to other suppliers in the area with similar experience, could mean to be on a Zoom right now, but it's not working. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Who's that? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, Bethany, I can see you. Beautiful. Who's the other beautiful soul that's in there? And it's not a public holiday, but they have a day off. Woo, celebrating. And you're on your way home. Oh no, so that's okay, guys, because the Zoom isn't working. We're actually just streaming into Facebook community live. This one's not a private masterclass. This one is available for everybody within our Facebook group. So that's why it's not working, ladies. So don't stress. I never know anything about terms of business, cost, expense, or why to charge certain. Well, Emma, as you know, this is actually one of my most favorite topics to talk about because I genuinely fucking love finance. And Lucy, hello, Lucy, welcome. I genuinely love finance and I love talking numbers and profits, right? So, right, okay, you're meant to be in another Zoom. That makes sense. I see now. Well, I'm not upset that you're here. Okay, so who here wants to feel safe within their business financial position? Emma, that's you. Wants to feel confident in what they're charging so they understand. And Bethany, this is also another struggle of yours. So I know, feel confident in knowing what they're charging and why they're charging it, not just plucking a number out of like thin air and being like, that's what I offer based on your market research, based on what you think you should be. Yeah. So who here would love to understand why they charge what they charge, and therefore it brings that energetic alignment back, right? Because if you understand why you're charging what you charge and it's of a higher rate, you absolutely have more confidence to go out to the community and to your bride and literally send through the proposal with absolute certainty that you are worth what you are charging, not just the other way around. Not just being like, oh, yeah, I now offer my hair and makeup as a $400 package, and I don't really know why, but that's what I'm feeling called to do. So that's one way you can do it. Or you can actually understand the pricing strategy behind your business, behind your rate, behind why you charge what you charge, on top of the actual incredible luxury brand experience that you have created, right? So it's one thing to be like, oh, I charge $400 for hair and makeup, but I don't know why. But then there's another reason where you could be like, I charge $400 for hair and makeup, and this is why. But there's also, I charge an incredible fucking rate because I offer incredible fucking service, okay? So there is so many aspects to your pricing strategy and your financial empowerment that I'm so excited to dive into this with you. So the reason why we want to get clear on our pricing strategy, but can you guys hear my dog? He's literally having the best time down there. So the reason why we want to get clear on our pricing strategy, but we also want to get ultra clear on our client experience, is because it is one thing for me to sit here and say to you, I'd love to know then why and have the income. Yes, absolutely, Emma. That's absolutely the foundations of like the first module within the expansion. So you will definitely be making your way through this. But after module 1, you will absolutely know. Oh, Lucy. After module 1, you will absolutely know exactly where your business stands, your financial empowerment, based on the fact that we've identified your pricing strategy, your packaging strategy. So what services that you want to offer within your brand, and then how we're going to create an incredible, profitable business where you actually take home 50% of profit for every service that you do. So you will absolutely know with confidence what you're offering is got some value, like it's got incredible value. But then in modules 3 and 4, we actually go through and create that incredible brand experience that speaks to your high-end offer, which comes back to what you've mentioned before, Emma, about like really wanting to create an exceptional client experience that literally stands out from the crowd and it is not at all like you are no longer a commodity. Like, you are no longer just a part of, the makeup industry, and this is what everybody does, and this is what everybody charges. And no. It's about actually creating an incredible client experience that is beyond your wildest dreams of your bride, and then creating a high-end pricing strategy that actually speaks to that. Yes, Bethany, absolutely. I'm feeling the vibes, ladies. Okay, so when I talk about, I wanted to be really clear about one thing here. When I talk about creating a pricing strategy and increasing your rates, I am literally not saying to just go away and increase your rates without actually looking into the strategy behind it, without actually identifying your booking conversions, without identifying what your marketing conversions are looking like. I would absolutely not recommend that you go through and increase your pricing rates based on your community and based on this masterclass. What I'm saying is that you need to actually have a strategy around it. So you have to basically create, first of all, identify where you are in terms of like what your profit is right now, identify what your business expenses are, identify what your wage you want to actually take home from your work. And then you also want to basically create a pricing strategy that actually offers you a profit, right? But however, you also simultaneously want to create a brand experience that actually is aligned with that price tag. You can't just go away and change nothing in your business and then increase your pricing strategy, because you will probably not get a high booking conversion. So there are so many things. We're going to be talking more about this in a moment, but you can't, yeah. So it's one thing for me to be like, absolutely go do your pricing strategy, increase your rates, because fuck yes, that's what you can do. But if you're not doing it in alignment with the rest of your brand within the internal foundations of your business, if you're not increasing your brand experience, if you're not increasing the support that you're offering to your brides, if you are not creating a brand experience that is speaking to your bride's desires and actually making you stand out from your community, then why would your bride pay for more? Okay, so we need to really think about what your bride wants, who your soul aligned bride is, and what we can do in your client experience that can fucking make it a fuck yes in your sales experience. When they actually have that first touch point with you, what can you do within your brand that makes it a fuck yes for your bride despite your pricing strategy? So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I've had a few DMs coming in and out of beautiful souls asking me about their pricing strategy, right? So there's so many things that you need to deep dive into when you are looking at your booking conversions. So if a bride is not, if you're getting if your booking conversions are below 50%, absolutely no, you would not be, you would need to focus on building your brand experience and building your social media content and everything like that to show that you are of a caliber that should be a high price tag. Okay. So there is something about your sales experience that is not great. There is something about your brand that is not speaking to your client right now if your booking conversions are low. Okay. If you've got high booking conversions of above 50%, 80%, absolutely you need to be well and truly increasing your pricing strategy, right? Emma. Your social media, that's a cracker. It's all right. It's all right, beautiful. I got you. Yeah, so if you have got a booking conversion of 80% and above, you absolutely are in a position to increase your pricing strategy. Absolutely. Because if you've got a booking conversion of 80% and above, you're either too cheap, that bright, everybody's obsessed with your work. And if everybody is obsessed with your work, then that means that you are a hot commodity. You are on fire. So you need to harness that opportunity and actually, it is hard, ladies, but I've got you. I got you. We absolutely will be going into that with an expansion, because that's actually the biggest part of creating that, is actually then creating content and social, everything that speaks to your brand experience that you've created, but all over your world of social media, website, everything like that. Okay. I've just lost my mind, my train of thought. Yeah, so if you're in a position where you've got 80% booking conversions, then you are absolutely in a position, beautiful, to literally increase your pricing strategy without a fear of losing too much. You will not be losing anything. If you are in a position where brides, you get multiple inquiries for one day and you can be selective with your choices of brides, you are absolutely in a position where you can increase your pricing strategy. If you're in a position where where you are getting, 50% brides are like, oh, there's something about like 50%, I would say. If you're sitting at 50% and you get so many brides coming back to you saying, I've gone with somebody else, or they're ghosting you, or like you really want to identify what that is. You really want to get clear on why they are going to somebody else. You want to get clear on what it is about your sales experience that is deterring your brides. Okay. So I really wanted to start this masterclass based on the fact it's all about pricing your profits, but I wanted to be really clear that I'm not recommending this for every single person, because everybody is in different stages of their business. Some are just starting out, some are only just launching their business, some are literally trying to their focus is basically generating a fully booked year of wedding seasons, right? Then there's the Emmas, the Lucys, and the Bethanies of the world who are at max capacity, and they are hot in demand, right? So they are at a point where they're like, I need systems. I need this shit automated. I want to create this incredible freaking client experience, but I actually just don't have the time to do it. I want to I'm ready for the next level, basically. So there's so many people that I'm trying to speak to in this conversation. So I really am wanting to support everybody along every stage of their journey. All right. And losing your mind. That's absolutely yes. It's all right. It's all right. I lost my mind for a while there, and I'm good now, Emma. Oh, I love that so much. Okay, so the first problem that I see is when we are basing our pricing off of our community. Okay, so we don't get clear on our business expenses, our desired profits, and we are not aligned luxury brand and our aligned luxury brand experience, which means that we are basically, let me know in the comments below, when you first started your business, how did you actually decide on your pricing strategy? Did you go and identify what your business expenses were, how much profit you wanted to generate, and then go from there? Or did you actually just go and do some casual market research and browse every single competitor in your community and what they're offering? And then did you actually go through a thought process where you were like, her work is fucking amazing. There's no way I can charge that much. She's got 10,000 followers on Instagram. There's absolutely no fucking way I can charge that much. She's been in business for 2 to 3 years more, and there is absolutely no way I can charge that much. Let me know if that's what you went through when you were basically going through and generating and creating your pricing strategy. Was that the thought processes and the blocks and the fears and the mindset that was coming up for you? Or did you actually go, this is what I need to make because these are my expenses and this is the profit? Nope, compared to other students around me, market research, then charge more because I know my worth. Yes, boom. Hello, beautiful. Who is the one that's just said, hello, lovely? That was my thought process. I wish I knew your way, Kailah. You will know my way, Bethany. We're doing it together, beautiful. No, I'd gone through solo from previously contracted for another company and just went out at their full rate as I previously was on 80% of it less. No research, no substance, no real reason. Okay, beautiful. So Emma, this is absolutely both. I mean, Bethany, we've already gone through it. We're going through it right now with you, and Lucy, I think, yeah, Lucy, we are absolutely going through it with you as well, we've already gone through it in our call a couple of weeks ago. But Emma, this is absolutely this is going to empower you so much, because you're going to then come up with a figure once we work through our first module, and you're going to identify exactly what you want to be charging that's going to generate way more profit and way more abundance, especially if right now you're only going from what you were previously your previous contracted company offered, right? So this was years ago and I've made no progress in terms of, amazing. So think about the knowledge that you have gained over the last couple of years. Think about the brand that you've created, the name that you've created for yourself. These are things that literally absolutely attribute to your pricing strategy. Okay. Amazing. I love that. So now that we've gone through and so we will absolutely, when you go through and do the magnetic business order and the pricing strategy within within module 1, you will literally identify why you charge what you do. And then obviously you'll bring that to Q&A. And then I'm going to be able to support you even more deeply on exactly what we need to do, because then we create the incredible client experience together. I'm so excited. So then we can actually be in a lot more alignment with like your pricing strategy and your client experience, right? Okay. Who is that? I can't see who that was who said hello, lovely. I know, I'm so pumped, Emma. Let me just check my notes. Oh, Amy. I was like, I'm not 100% sure if it was anybody different. So hello, beautiful. Yeah, so that's what you've done. Was it beautiful? That was your thought process. So when you went through and actually charged your price, you created your pricing strategy based on your research. I think that's what Lucy might have said as well, but Lucy's increased her rate since then. Yeah, you're not alone. That's exactly what I did when I first started out in business, because we don't know anything different, right? It makes total sense to price yourself off of your market research. In fact, there could be other people that are literally saying this is the only strategy, but it's absolutely not the only strategy. The other way is to basically get ultra clear on your business expenses and what business profit you want to actually create within your brand. So you're not at a position, like what we want to avoid is basically a position where we don't even know how much money we can actually take from our business. We want to get to a position where we know what our business expenses are on a monthly basis, but more than that, we actually want to get our business in a position where we have recession proof. So we want to basically create a safety net within our brand. We can only do that when we know what our business expenses are. We can only do and create a profitable business when we know what our business expenses are. We can only create a profitable business when we know how many days and hours we want to work and how many clients we can actually service and how much money we actually want to take home at the end of the day. There's so much more to your pricing strategy that goes well beyond just market research. I'm not saying completely avoid the market research. I would highly recommend that you have a bit of a ballpark as to like what people are offering. For example, you wouldn't want to, if the average hair and makeup artist was offering $150 per client per service, so 150 for hair, so 300 for hair and makeup service, right? And that was the average. I mean, you could, but like I wouldn't recommend that you go $100, and I wouldn't recommend that you go 400, 600. But there's so much so that it is good to have that knowledge around the market research, but it is not like good enough to that be the only strategy for your pricing strategy. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say, that like be aware of what your community is offering so you can understand where you sit in that market, but also identify what you are what you're needing to generate within your business to create the lifestyle that you actually want, not just actually focusing on your market research, right? I went to packages in Greece last year, then again June this year. Lucy, love that. Yes, you did. And we're going to be increasing that again for you, Lucy. And I liked what you did when yep. Well, yeah, that's it, isn't it, Lucy? We literally we have even increased based on what you have created, your beautiful brand. You're in a position to absolutely increase your rates without even blinking your eye. So that's what we're going to be doing for you, beautiful. Okay, so the other problem I see is the fear that nobody will book. So let me know in the comments below what holds you back from increasing your rates. So if you're aware that you have a booking conversion of 50% to 80% and above, yes, absolutely. Lucy, I've already energetically increased Lucy's rates. We're working on it. Yeah, so let me know in the comments below what has held you back from. Yes, she is incredible. I'm feeling so much love in this group today. So beautiful. Let me know in the comments below what has held you back from increasing your rates. Because quite often when we hold ourselves back from increasing our rates, it's because the fear that nobody will book and the fear that nobody will pay and that we are no longer worthy of that new rate that we've set that is what actually holds us back. And it's when the fear of that overrides our dream and our vision for our financial abundance, right? So it comes back to that like level of self-sacrificing where we get to a point where we're like, our fears are greater than our dreams. And so we're too scared to take the leap and increase our rates. And then what happens? Because you've got to think about it, right? So what happens if you increase your rates and you just do it like that? We spoke, if you joined that the energetics of a luxury bridal brand, we did speak about this a little bit, where if we increase our rates, but we truly deeply don't feel that we're worthy of that because we don't have that, our mindset is holding us back, our fear and our doubt is holding us back because we're at a point where we're like, no, nobody's going to buy. So I can sit here and I can tell you that you need to increase your pricing strategy and that you need to create an incredible brand experience that actually supports that, and that you need to know exactly what business expenses that you need to cover to generate a profit. I can tell you all of the strategy in the world. I can tell you all of the masculine energetics in the world. But if you in the feminine energy do not believe or back yourself, if you truly do not feel internally inside that you are worthy of actually charging that, then you are going to absolutely send out the energy. You will be literally attracting the wrong bride. You are going to attract the bride who doesn't value you. You're going to attract the bride who doesn't think you're worthy of that price. You're going to get so many more emails that are coming back to you where they're like, I decided to go with somebody else because they were cheaper. You're out of my budget. Can we just take a moment to think, hang on, how can I be out of your budget if you put through an inquiry website form and literally acknowledged my hourly rate on that website and then you continued with your quote? Like, what? So can you see that when we have the fear and the doubt holding us back from increasing our pricing strategy, it affects us. It affects like our ability to sell with confidence. So our last topic was talking about really understanding the masculine energy around why we are charging what we are charging, getting ultra clear on our business expenses, the profits we want to generate, and all of the things that actually support our pricing strategy. So you can logically go out and say with absolute fucking confidence that you are worth what you are charging, right? As long as your client experience and your sales experience is aligned. This conversation is about the energetics, the inner worth, like what's actually holding you back. So when we don't value our worth and we don't value our our expertise or our experience, when we go to increase our pricing strategy, it actually isn't in alignment because we have this energetics where we're like, oh, it's like this icky feeling, right? We don't feel aligned because we're like pushing the proposal out and we're like, fuck, they're not gonna buy. Like, who? Let me know in the comments below. How many times have you increased your prices and then sent it out with absolute fear and anxiety riddled throughout your entire human because you're like, they're not gonna pay. Like, have you done that? Have you actually tested your new pricing strategy? And what has come back? What has come up for you in that moment? Emma, I love this. Don't feel confident in overall client experience, and I don't have systems to support both of us. Yep. Well, not for long, Emma. Okay, Emma. Every time, Bethany. Yes, I hate that. Okay, so this is what the feminine energetics behind increasing your pricing strategy is. We really need to work on those blockages that you've got coming up, and this can actually come down to your parents' money story, right? It can come down to like their story of what they were like, how worthy they felt, and it's actually been handed down to you. That's how energetics works. I get like that with my travel fee, worried they won't accept if I charge too much. Is that you, Amy, or is that Lucy? I've got two, I think, so far that are coming up as Facebook user. Yep. Travel fees it's because you don't feel worthy. Like, there deep down inside would be, oh, Tony, hello, beautiful. Tony Jade. So deep down inside, Tony Jade, there will literally be an element of you that doesn't feel like you should be charging travel. Okay. So there's actually going to be an element of you that feels like you are not worthy of being charged for travel, because maybe some stories, like beliefs that could be coming up, is that, well, if you were working in a salon, for example, if you were working in a salon, would you be paying, like, would you be charging for travel to the salon? Whereas charging travel for a mobile experience, how does that coming up for you? Like, when I ask you that, do you feel like you should not be charging travel? Like it's a fee that your brides shouldn't be actually charging or paying? Because when we have that feeling inside of us and that mindset, that logic, it actually stops us from charging. So let me just paint a picture for you. You're offering a luxury mobile service. So for the bride to actually get the most incredible experience on her wedding day, she absolutely wants you to come to her house. She absolutely wants you to go to her hotel. She doesn't want to leave her fucking area of calm. Like, she wants everything done in that moment, in her chair, surrounded in the most comfortable, most elegant fucking hotel room. She does not want to travel to your house. She doesn't want to travel to a salon. There is no way that she wants that, right? So when you flip it around, and you see that, hang on, your travel fee is literally the reason why you're able to offer her what she wants. She doesn't want to travel to you. She doesn't want to, she does not want to go sit in a salon. She wants to be surrounded by her friends, her bridesmaids, her mother of the groom, her mother-in-law. And then she wants to be sipping champagne and eating from a grazing platter whilst she's in the comfort of this high-end luxury hotel room, right? So can you see, by just flipping over the belief from, oh, I feel guilty for actually charging travel, to, holy shit, I'm now able to offer this bride exactly what she wants? Can you see the energetics, the difference between that? So in that moment, imagine if you just took for 1 second the mindset, the logic around, because I charge this travel fee, I'm actually able to offer my bride what she wants, like what she genuinely desires. It's still your time. At the end of the day, if you were not traveling to her, you could have fit in 2 more people. So that could have been another $300 that you could make. I bet you're not charging $300 for travel. So when you look at can you see there, like the feminine energetics behind, like the mindset and that inner work, versus the logic, the masculine around, well, you could have fit in 2 other people to travel to your bride. So therefore you've actually lost money. Because think about it, if she came to you and you had a bridal party of like 5 and your typical work day is a 7-hour day, it's just, I'm plucking numbers out of the world right now, but like, technically the travel time to your bride's house and home from the bride's house or venue is literally time that you could be servicing another client, which means you could have been generating anywhere between $300 to $400, right? So like, if you think about it that way, she's actually getting a fucking good deal, because you're not charging your travel at your hourly rate, which means you're effectively losing money. So think about it from 2 different aspects there, the logical and the heart. It's mobile only, so it's more for. Oh, well, even then, like, do you know how many brides ask me to travel for trials? So many brides ask me to travel for trials. I don't travel for trials, but that's because I have a home salon and because I literally cannot travel for trials, because it's for my own reasons. Like, I have only dedicated times for trials, and it's all, everybody's coming to me, right? But because you offer mobile only service, then absolutely think about it. They are still in the comfort of their home. They don't have to travel, waste their time to drive to you to go get a trial done. They are still in the comfort of their home. So you are still offering an incredible luxury service where you come to them on their trials. So can you see, like, when you flip it around, there's actually, like, okay, well, again, think about it from the masculine energy right there. Like, you're traveling to them for trials, which means that you are still losing out on a portion of money that you could have been doing another trial. So your time is absolutely worthy of travel expenses, travel fees. Remember that. So I'm really passionate about that. So I had to stop this masterclass and really talk to that. Okay. All right. So, can you see how the fear of nobody booking, Bethany, you're feeling my energy, girl. You're welcome, beautiful. The fear of nobody booking absolutely holds holds us back. Alrighty. So the problem number 3 is our energetic misalignment. So we desire to be the leading go-to hair and makeup artist within our community, but our pricing strategy, our brand experience isn't aligned, and we don't take aligned action towards our goal. So it's all good for you to sit there and be like, this is where I want to be, but I don't want to do the work to get there. Like, I don't want to create the incredible pricing strategy that actually speaks to the incredible brand experience within my brand, but I still want to be the leading go-to hairstylist for my industry, for my community. I still want to be the leading hairstylist in Perth, but I don't want to offer an incredible experience because I'm too scared to stand out and look a little bit too bright. I'm too scared that other people are going to judge me. I'm too scared that they're going to be like, why would I pay $200 for you when there's somebody down the road who offers the same hair and only charges 110? Can you see how like the energetic misalignment is when like we want this desire, we want this dream, we want to achieve it, but then we also are like, I can't be bothered to do the social media content, and I don't want to do that, and I'm too scared to raise my prices, and I don't really know if it's going to work out, and I don't really think that I am the one who can create this brand experience that speaks to all of my brides' biggest desires. So let me know in the comments below how that feels for you. Do you have a dream for something incredible? And do you have a dream to create this incredible high-end luxury experience that actually speaks to so much more than just a wedding day? Do you have a dream to create a business that's like epic? Or are you happy to be plodding along, doing what you're doing right now with, you're making ends meet and you just have enough money and you just like, you don't really feel this burning desire inside of you to like go, wow. Emma, I know you do. We're absolutely. Oh, absolutely, Emma. I know you. I know you have big dreams and I can't wait to help you in expansion. Let me just check. When I changed my travel fee to $1 per kilometer based on it helped me to justify it in my mind and my clients. That helped me get past it, and now travel is just a given for me. Yep, absolutely. Was that you, Tony Jade, who wrote that, or was that Amy, or was it Lucy? I've got a few on here that are coming up as Facebook users, so I'm just trying to speak to you directly. So yes, if the ATO recommends it, why the hell should you not? But what I would also recommend is that you should be considering your travel time on top of. Oh, what happened? Why is it? I love that. I'm excited to break my fears off with pricing. Yes, yes, yes. So, Stacey, I would actually recommend. How far do you normally travel with your brides? Do you travel anywhere past an hour, or is it always up to about an hour, roughly? Because if you are traveling further than an hour, I do recommend that you actually take into consideration your travel time. So the time that you are spending traveling on top of your travel fee, like the travel expense, like the car, the insurances, all of the things, right? Past an hour. Okay. Stacey, like I highly recommend that you do take into consideration not just the ATO recommendation, but also consider your time that you're traveling, especially if you're traveling past an hour. So like when I do destination weddings down south, I charge a day rate because it takes me 6 hours to travel there. 6 hours? So if I were to charge what the ATO recommends, let me just paint a picture here because this is worthy of breaking down. The ATO recommends, I think currently 70 cents in every dollar, right? 70 cents in every kilometer. I'm pretty sure it's 72. If you break down, like, I don't have a calculator. Let me get it. Okay. I'm gonna spend 6 hours for one wedding to travel down to my wedding for 6 hours. That is one day that I will not be able to offer any hair and makeup services for other brides, right? So I'm effectively missing out on anywhere between $900 to $1,500 in one day that I've lost. I've lost that because I'm traveling. So if I were to only charge myself out to travel that distance at only the ATO recommendation of 72 cents per kilometer, I think that's what it is. I can't remember. I vaguely remember that's what it is. That's $432 that I would be charging my bride based on the ATO's recommendation, based on 6 hours of travel, $435. Now, can you see how much of a loss that is? Can you see if I'm not taking into consideration my travel time, then I am actually losing out nearly $1,000. Yep. Anywhere between $400 to $1,000 of money I have lost because I have not taken into consideration my travel time. So if you are traveling anywhere more than 6 hours, so if you're traveling a work day, you need to figure out what your day rate is. So if you're doing editorial work or anything like that, you would have often actually identified what your you would have identified what your half day rate is or what your day rate is, right? So that's pretty much a good guideline as to what your day rate would be if you were traveling for a destination wedding, so a day rate. If you're flying to another freaking country, if you're flying to another state to do these weddings, absolutely, you need to be charging your day rate for your flying. Even despite, so that's a great, your bride's going to pay for your flight expenses, right? So think about this from a car, like a driving aspect, right? Your bride, if you were flying to a destination, would absolutely be paying for your flight expenses, your accommodation, more than likely your meals, as well as your day rate for actually traveling. So how is that any different from a car travel drive, like when you're driving for travel? So you're the one who's picking up the cost. So even just to think about this, right? That $400 isn't even covering, that's not even covering me and my time. That's literally just covering the expenses of me actually traveling with my car. So think about when you were flying for a destination wedding and the bride's actually paying for your flights, your accommodation, your food. She's also paying for your time, like your day rate for your time. If you're driving in a car and you're only charging what the ATO recommends, you're absolutely not getting charged for your time. So that is why it's so important to consider time traveled and time expense when looking into your travel fees, because this also comes back to what I was speaking to with Tony Jade about like your travel fee and being worthy of charging your travel fee. What would you have been charging if you had a bridal booking of 6 to 8 people? And what would you have actually made if you were available to do their wedding, but instead you're on a flight or you're in the car? You absolutely need to be like making money for that travel time. I didn't recommend an actual so what do you recommend to charge per travel? So I actually do, so the way that we strategize it is the fact that we charge per kilometer. So it can be anywhere between $1 to $2 per kilometer. I'm quite high. But then I also, for 1 hour, above 1 hour, I always charge travel time. So I allow 1 hour of travel without charging travel time. And then I also add for anything above 1 hour and anything beyond that, I include my travel rate for my time, for my hourly rate in that. So yeah, our travel fees are quite expensive, but we don't, it's $2 to fuel your, have you looked at fuel prices? It's literally $2 to fuel your car for 1 liter. How do you normally make that? No, that's 1 hour up. So where I am right now, I travel anywhere between 30 minutes roughly to up to 1 hour because I live a little bit further out of Perth. So our travel time, my travel time is a little bit longer. So I take that into consideration. But generally speaking, it can take up to 1 hour for most weddings. So anything out past 1 hour and a half is literally, I would consider like outside of the Perth metro. So yeah, I would recommend trying to gauge. So I think it's 70 cents the government recommends, and then identify. I always stick to $1 at a minimum, and then go from there, adding your travel fee, travel time on top of that. How do you normally make that work with a client though, Kailah? As in, how do you normally pass this over and have them not question it? Oh, that's a good question. Who asked that one? Let me know. I don't. I just don't. Like when I put my travel fees out, there is no part of me that energetically is like, oh, that's expensive. Nope. I truly, genuinely believe that I am worthy of that travel fee because I have a certain caliber of fucking hair and I am incredible. And so, hello, beautiful. I'm getting really passionate right now. I have had my bridal business for 9 years, right? I'm literally the leading hairstylist in Perth. So I am now at a point where I honestly, hand on heart, believe that I am absolutely worthy of them paying my fee for me to travel without even second guessing myself. If they don't like my fee, honestly, they don't. That conversation doesn't even occur because I think I just have gotten to a point now where I'm like, if you want me, you'll pay this. That's oh, thanks, lovely. I literally, yeah, it's something. I think it's because I spent the first half of my business undervaluing myself. I spent the first half of my business questioning if I was worthy to charge any more than $100. And with every child I popped out, it became a point where I was like, they wouldn't want to pay anything more than $100 because I have just come back from a baby and I've literally had 4 months off, and for some reason I thought my experience and my expertise would have dwindled. No, absolutely not the case. But the mindset, the inner worthiness of what I actually thought I was worth was so fucking low that I actually undervalued myself. So it was awful. This is why I'm so passionate about this, because when you actually start to see your worthiness and understand your experience is next fucking level and you are incredible, when you actually start to see the number of brides who are obsessed with your work, the number of brides who book in with you, when you get comments from your brides that are like, holy shit, I would have paid any amount of money to have you there because you were fucking phenomenal. When you are having those conversations with your brides, that is a pretty good freaking sign that you are absolutely worth a travel fee. You are absolutely worth charging your travel time. You are absolutely worth a high-end fucking luxury price tag. Okay? Because there is something different about the person who is like, oh, I'm not really worthy of that. And oh, I shouldn't be charging that. And oh, can you feel the energetics behind that? This is where I spent 4 years of my relationship, my first feels like a relationship actually, my business. The first 4 years of my business, that's where I spent it. This last 4 years is when I've changed. And it all changed because I had my babies and I had something else to fight for. I was no longer doing hair because I was obsessed with it. I mean, obviously I'm still obsessed with it, but I actually, as soon as I had my babies, it meant that I had something else that came on my radar that was equally as important as my business. So every time I was away from my babies, I was like, you will pay me what I am worth because I'm now away from my babies. So if you want me to work away from my babies, you will be paying a price tag. No longer just giving my services away like this. Just take it all. No, I was literally at a point where I'm like, no, I want to be at home with my babies. And if I'm going to be away from them, you're going to be paying me accordingly. So that's where I did a lot of inner work to get to this point where it didn't come easy and it didn't come overnight. And I actually had to really identify what I was going to stand for, what I was going to put up with, what I would accept, and what wasn't okay. So I think because I am so clear on my boundaries, I know exactly what bride I want to attract. I can tell instantly that a bride is not aligned and I don't pour any more energy into her. I can tell literally when I am when a bride, you just feel it, right? You can feel when a bride loves you. You can feel when they're like, you are the one for me. You can feel it. And then you can also feel when they're not. So I now have learned how to identify that. And I think because I've done all of that work and now I'm at a point where I'm like, I absolutely know my worth. I don't have those conversations. I don't have those questions. There's nobody who's like, oh, but why would you charge that? Literally, I have never had somebody come back to me and say that ever. So that's that would not be something that I would even recommend that you do to even have that conversation. It's just a situation where you're like, this is the proposal, this is what my travel fee is, and then you either yes or no. Like you either want to book in or you don't. So it's not like I'm not sure who was that? Was that you, Amy? I'm not sure if this was maybe this could be something that's coming up for you inside Beautiful, because I feel like to be having that conversation with the bride, that is coming across a little bit like you're not confident in what you're charging and your travel fee and what you're worth. So I feel like that's what's coming up for me, but let me know if that's what's coming up for you, Beautiful. I'm at a point in my life that if people want me, they need to pay for me. I can love that. Yeah, who was that? Was that Lucy? Or was that Emma? Or was that Bethany? I'm loving the vibes that I attract. Oh, Lordy, I'm fantastic at what I do, and I never realized that until the last few years. Absolutely. And when other artists started telling me they aspired to get the results I did and that they love seeing my work. Yeah, Stacey, yes. I wish Facebook could actually just tell me who's talking. But yes, Stacey, absolutely. So how liberating and exciting is it when you have those kind of conversations with your community? And when they're telling you that, it's a pretty good freaking sign that you're in a position to literally raise your prices, because you are that person. You are the one that's standing out. Your work is phenomenal. You are incredible. People are magnetized to you because you are in alignment with your value. Can you see? I think that was Amy who mentioned that before, but when you are like that energetic misalignment, when you don't truly back yourself and back what you're worth, then you don't put out energetically. Like there is that the brides are feeling that, right? So it's really important to absolutely have confidence in your worth, what you can be charging, what you should be charging, and like the brand experience that actually supports that. My kids have just gone home. 2 seconds, going to close the door. Let me know in the comments, ladies, how this is all feeling for you. What's it bringing up for you? So basically, along my journey, very similar to Stacey, got to a point where I had enough. Like I was sick of being like, I was so booked out and I was working so freaking hard. I was fully booked 3 to 4 days a week and I was generating incredible clarity. Amazing. That's amazing, Tony. I was generating incredible revenue because, being a bridal hairstylist, working for myself generates a fuckload more money than what it ever would if I was working in a salon, right? Oh, I can't wait. I love you. You're the sweetest little soul, Bethany. Celebrating you hard, beautiful. So when everything changed in my world when I realized my worth. And when I realized my worth, so I'll tell you the story. When I created the luxury brand experience in Elegant Edge, I increased my profits and I kept my pricing strategy and I kept getting booked, right? And then I grew my team because I was like wanting to grow the team and be the leading team within the Perth market. And then I actually realized that although I had grown my team and I'd grown all of that, I still internally felt like, oh, something's not right here. Like every time, if we ever got a message, an email come back and they were like, oh, your pricing was too much, or I couldn't afford that, or like if they were like, oh, I decided to go with somebody else, or if anytime there was somebody who came back with a rejection or an objection, right? It actually brought up so much within me. And I realized because I would get so energetic, like I was so heartbroken because I had poured my heart and soul into my luxury brand experience. And I obviously have 9 years of experience. So I am phenomenal when it comes to hair. But I also I was so hurt when people would be like, no, I've gone with somebody else. I'd be like, why the fuck did they go with somebody else? What the fuck what was it about me that they didn't book in with me on my team? it actually got to a point where I realized, hang on, is the energetics behind it? Because there was a deep part of me that didn't feel like I was worthy of charging that. And I didn't feel like I should be charging those travel fees. I literally got to a point where I was like, oh, I felt like you, Amy. I think it was Amy or Tony. Yeah. I felt icky sending through travel fees. I felt like if I sent it through, they'd be like, no, I'm not paying that. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not paying $150 for you or your stylist, your team, because no, I could go over here and they could do the same and they offer like $120. Literally, that's what was going through my head every time somebody came back and they were like, oh, we've decided to go with somebody else. I didn't realize that it's like an energetics thing. I didn't realize that what I was putting out in every single email proposal that we sent off, I had a fear. Like every time I was sending off that proposal, I was like, oh, that travel fee seems expensive. It's expensive. Oh, this is the first time I've actually increased my prices and now it's going to go out and they're probably not going to book. Imagine what energy the bride is feeling when she's opening your proposal and she's like, oh, this feels funny. Like this doesn't feel good. Of course she's repelled. Of course she's literally she's not obsessed with my work, because when I was cultivating that bloody proposal, I sent it out and I had the fear that she wasn't going to book. I had the fear that she wasn't going to value my services. So of course, when she had multiple quotes in front of her, there was like that energetic misalignment, right? But then something changed when I started to value my worth and I started to value my experience, my expertise, because I had created this incredible experience and I know nobody in Perth has actually done it. I know that what makes me different is my brand. I know what makes me different is this experience that we offer our clients, our brides. I know that nobody in Perth, nearly Australia, probably the world, offers my level of experience from like their entire client journey. I know that what we have created is next level, and I know that the experience that we've created in our brand is literally nothing that is offered in our market, in our community. So can you imagine the difference? So when a bride does come back, and it still happens, I'm not going to lie, we still get people that will be like, oh, I've gone with somebody else, or that I now don't even carry that, because I know now trust and know that if that bride is not going to book in and she has chosen somebody else because of price or whatever it is, she's not my bride. Like, she is not our bride, because the bride that I'm here to work with, the bride that my team is here to work with, the bride that we're here to attract is the one that actually values our experience, the one who genuinely values what we have created for our client journey, for our brides. The next level support, the constant communication, the support throughout their entire client journey is what we have created. The next level resources and guides and everything to support them throughout their time with us, before and after their wedding day. So we create a lifetime experience for our brides, right? Nobody in Perth has actually done that. Like, literally, I know that. I see makeup artists and hairstylists all the time. I have these conversations with them and they're like, oh my God, I wish I could do what you've done. And I'm like, well, you could. You actually genuinely could. It's possible for you. But they have that fear. So can you see the energetics behind when we actually do the inner work and we value our worth and we value the experience that we've created within our brand? If I genuinely believe in what we are offering our brides, how much more incredible is the sales experience? Because I genuinely believe that if somebody books in with me and my team, they are absolutely not just getting a phenomenal hairstylist. They're actually getting much more than that. And what they're getting extra is all of the things they desire, all of the information they need, all of the things to support them throughout their journey, so they're supported. So can you see the difference between putting out a proposal where you're like, oh, I'm not really 100% sure this bride is going to actually book and I'm really uncomfortable with waiting for her to get back to me, versus she's going to be obsessed with this, and if she's not obsessed with it, then she's going to make way for the bride who is going to be obsessed with me and my work. Can you feel the difference? Let me know in the comments below what bride you attract and how you feel when you send out your proposals, how you feel about sending through your travel fee. I mean, I know Amy and Tony Jade are not absolutely, there's that misalignment there. But how do you feel about when you send out proposals with your hourly rate and your quotes for your brides? Let me know in the comments below. I have the fear if I don't drop what I'm doing and reply to an inquiry right away that they will go to somebody else. You're not alone. This is actually something that Emma, sorry, Emma, drop you in the deep end there. Emma also struggles with this. And it's actually something that I struggle with. So Tony, what I would recommend is that you actually looking into your systems, because there's that fear that, was it, I think Amy, if Amy is still here, this is something Amy struggles with as well. That fear that if you don't get back to them and drop everything in that one moment, that they are going to book somewhere else. But really, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if you were here having the conversation with me on the live. Yeah, I thought you were here, beautiful. If you were here having the conversation with me, I think it was, I recommend that you go into the Facebook group and have a look at the conversation I had on Tuesday or Wednesday, whichever it was, just last week. I spoke about this because what I actually spoke to was when a bride, okay, I have completely automated systems. In fact, we literally, yeah, sorry, Emma, she feels you deeply. Don't worry, you're not alone. When we have a system, like our process, like our non-negotiables in our business is that we will get back to an inquiry within 24 hours, right? And then we actually have all of the systems in place to follow the bride up. That's all automated and everything is supported and everybody's supported and it's fucking great, right? If you don't have those systems in place, you can obviously feel like it's like pushing uphill. You're constantly trying to keep up with your emails, your inquiries, and all of the things. You actually will not be in a position where you're following your brides up. You won't be in a position where you're actually doing multiple follow-ups. You're not in a position where you're actually, yeah, Emma's like, yep, this is speaking. So what happens is when we have that fear that if we don't get back to the bride instantly, then we're scared that she's going to book and go with somebody else, right? So in our business, we have 24 hours. Do you know how many brides that we hear from that are like, we're just waiting a week later from our follow-up email that's been automated and they've responded to the follow-up email. So it goes out at like 4 days and 3 days or 5 days and then like 7 days. When our brides hear, like when they respond to that, literally 7 days later, they are saying, I am still waiting for quotes. So does that not tell you something? First of all, it's not my bride. I'm aware of that. I'm not obsessed with that bride. But second of all, if a bride thinks it's acceptable to wait more than 7 days for a quote, first of all, what kind of experience is the other vendor even like offering? That's a big mind blown for me. Like how you can't look at that and be like, oh, this isn't great service. But second of all, does that not prove to you that there are brides out there that will literally wait for every single quote to arrive in their inbox? So therefore, my point is that it is okay to take more than 24 hours to get back to a bride, and it is okay to have a moment to breathe before responding to the email. You do not literally have to drop everything in that moment, because why? Your time is worthy and what you're doing in that moment is actually worthy. So Tony, I think there's a lot that's coming up for you. Beautiful. Your heart, like your worthiness. I think that's a lot coming up there, because I would ask you, Tony, like, are you a massive people pleaser, and do you self-sacrifice? Do you sacrifice yourself to please other people? And how clear are your boundaries? And do you often find yourself in situations where you say yes when you feel energetically it's a no? I think that's what's coming up for you, lovely. Okay, so a little thing I learned some years ago was that I got lots of work when I was cheap, and I worked flat out and had nothing left to show for it because I was forever restocking product and couldn't afford to buy bulk. When I raised a price a few dollars, I had way less work, and I was worried that suddenly I was making even less, and I was attracting less people because I didn't attract the cheapskates now, but the next lot of people wanted more from a service and I was able to offer. Hang on. But I didn't attract the cheapskates now, but the next lot of people wanted more from a service than I was able to offer. Who wrote that? Was that Amy? Oh, Stacey. Yes, Tony, I thought so. That's what was coming up for me, beautiful. Yeah. So for you, Tony, really look at those situations. I think that's a lot of inner work that needs to not me. Hang on. I wish it's killing me, these comments. It's like I have to constantly sit here and try and think who's writing. Oh my goodness. Who wrote the comment here about the cheapskates? Was that Stacey? So that's exactly what happens, right? So we are raising our prices and then we start to detract the cheapskates, the ones who are price shopping, the ones who are like, eyelashes included. What else is included? Is there a touch-up kit included? I've had one where she's like, oh, does that include extensions? And I was like, as in like I'll apply your extensions, and she's like, no, as in, do I get extensions with that service as well? And I was like, fuck no. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Extensions are $500, mate. So absolutely, Stacey, I feel you there. When we increase our prices, we do deter and detract those cheapskates, which is fucking epic for your business. And you do have that fear that starts to come up because you've increased your prices, and then there's always going to be that fear when you've increased it. Will somebody buy? They're not going to buy now, or like, literally, am I worthy of that price? Or like, so many things start to come up. But the more that we actually work on building the confidence within your value and your worth for offering that next high-end service, then absolutely you will start to diminish those little bits of fear and doubt that are coming up for you. And then I can't remember, your comment says, I'm assuming what you've said, but the next lot of people wanted more from a service and I was able to offer. Oh, so what you're saying there is that you were actually able to increase your level of service and the experience that was in your brand simultaneously to your pricing strategy increase. Is that right? I hope so, because that brings me joy. All right, beautiful ladies. Well, we're going to wrap up. We've gone 10 minutes over time. I did want to speak to quickly a little bit more about expansion, because we do know that expansion is my heartfelt program. And there's a lot of the beautiful expansion people, like souls, on this call today. So thank you so much for joining me live. I did want to speak to basically the energetics behind expansion. So speaking to like what we've gone through today, can you see how there's the masculine and feminine energy? So I can you're welcome, gorgeous Emma. I can sit here and speak to you about the strategy behind increasing your pricing for profits, right? And we absolutely dive deeper into that in expansion. But the other part of expansion is that we do really get clear on your inner worth, your value, and all of that. So we break through the struggles that you're having, Tony. We break through like what's holding you back, the fears and the doubts that are all lingering behind the scenes that you're not even aware of. So you can see here how by doing the inner work, it actually supports the outer work. So doing the inner work around your inner worthiness to support your client, your pricing strategy. And then we actually create the pricing strategy, which supports your client experience. There are so many elements to just creating and increasing your profits. There are so many elements to creating wealth within your business. There are so many elements to financial empowerment. There is absolutely the masculine strategy, but there's also the feminine energetics. Okay, so this is something that basically is the foundation within the balanced business model of expansion. And this is something that I teach all of my beautiful students in expansion throughout the modules. We have so many lessons that speak to the inner work and the shadow work, as well as the strategy, the structure, and all of the things, right? So I did want to speak to the fact that expansion's 30% offer is literally ending on the 30th of September. So if you up until this point have been, I know there's many of the beautiful expansion souls here, but if you up until this point had been feeling the pull towards expansion, this is absolutely the time to join. Like, I am not kidding you. This is the last chance for a 30% off offer. So if you pay in full right now, currently, you can save up to literally $3,500. Plus, if you sign up before the 30th of September, you actually get 1 month free access of expansion. So you get 7 months in total, and we start on the 31st of October. I've changed it from an ongoing experience. So I've gone from allowing people to join at certain times, and now I've made it a closed container of 6 months. We start on the 31st of October and we end at the end of April. And the reason why I've done that is because I really wanted to support everybody at the same stage of their business. So everybody's going to be making their way through the modules of expansion, and I'm able to really give clarity and support on every single stage, feedback on your work. And so we can really cultivate, I can actually dedicate each month to supporting you really in every single area of the expansion modules, right? So instead of like having everybody coming in at different stages, I really felt pulled to creating an experience which is 6 months, and we are doing the work together, like all of us. So that's why I've changed expansion to be like an ongoing experience, and it's going to be closed off and it's going to start on the 31st of October, which is why if you were being pulled towards expansion and you're like, it's a hell yes for me, but I'm a little bit scared to take the leap because let's be honest, investing in your business is scary. This is absolutely the time, because at the end of September, the 30% off will go and you will not have the extra month of free access. Okay, so currently there are 3 ways to pay. There are the pay in full option. There's payment plan option, which is either 6 months or 12 months. And I also recently have created a business funding like partnership where I can basically, well, partnership, I don't know what the word is. I can send through the referral. That's how I've actually gone through my investments, right? Because for me, it is so scary to do the investment and it's so scary to take the leap. But ultimately, whenever I look at investing, I think of this. I think of the moments when, so investing can feel like gambling, right? And this can actually bring up a lot of work, internal work for you. When you outlay a lot of money for that fear of not getting a return, it feels like gambling, absolutely. But if you look at it from another way and you look at it from an investment, think about any time, like do some work, go away and think about it, like literally spend your day thinking about your confidence and your trust in your ability to get shit done, your confidence and trust in your ability to take a return on your investment. So think about like moments when you have made an investment and you have gotten an outcome. So for me, for example, every time I question, I've just made a wildly insane investment in the last couple of months, and it's a little bit scary. But I had to really dive deep into every moment that I've invested in myself and my business. So all of my personal development and all of my education and even my business mentors, right? And I had to really get clear on what results I got from those investments, because then I was able to bring confidence and trust in my ability to actually fulfill the investment, to get the results, to get the transformations, right? So for me, I actually really went back like within and actually really tried to build up that trust and confidence and look for evidence that I was able to do it. So if this is something that is actually speaking to you, if you're being called towards expansion because it's going to be epic, then I would love to invite you along to a 20-minute call, or I would love to send through some information on expansion. Let me know. Just send me a little DM if you would like any more information. Just DM expansion or DM call, and I can send you the link to book in. I will make some availability this afternoon. I'm basically at a point where I'm like, if you are getting the call towards expansion, this is the time, like literally 1 month free of expansion. That's a dream. So this is absolutely the time to harness this opportunity. Okay, so if you are feeling the pull, I'm going to make some availability this afternoon for calls, or we can jump on a call on Wednesday. Let me know what you're being pulled towards. But ultimately, I'm not sure what date it is, but the 30th of September is the deadline. There is no more 30% off after that. So if you are feeling the pull, let's do the thing. But if not, I'm so grateful that you've been here, and I hope that you've taken an incredible amount of knowledge from this, and I hope that I've inspired you to create an exceptional client experience and brand experience, but most importantly, a profitable business that supports your most wealthiest dream of your life. Thanks so much for joining me, beautiful ladies, and I will speak soon. Bye-bye. Can't even get out.